A very good evening to you. Thanks for joining us on the Thursday edition of the show. I'm Yemi Adebayo. Well, there's a lot to talk about today. We will be talking about the Women's African Cup of Nations. We will also be talking about basketball as we look ahead to the 2025 FIBA Women's AfroBasket. We will also talk about things happening in the world of boxing. The WBO has ordered undisputed champion, undisputed heavyweight champion Alexander Usyk to fight Parker, one of the #1 boxers on the mandatory list. So we'll talk about all of that, all for you on the show today. Let me quickly introduce our guest in the Lagos studio. Bolu Omoni joins us this lovely Thursday evening. Bolu, greetings to you. Thanks for finding time to be with us on the show.
Good to be again on this beautiful Thursday evening. It's a week long of excitement across football, especially the women's sports, the women Euros, the WAFCON, Falcons getting on to retain their title. It's been a while, 2018, we want to win it again. And of course, the sad news about the loss of man many of us grew up watching in wrestling, talking about Hogan. But it's been an exciting week all through, from one interesting topic in sports to another. But that's why we're here, to give you the fun.
All right, that's why we're here. And that's the job we've signed up for. It is to inform you and let you know what's happening in the fast-paced, money-spitting world of sports. Let's start differently tonight on the show. We'll start with basketball. That's where we're going. Bolu, we're gunning. I shouldn't be saying we. Okay. The D-Tigers gunning for the 5th consecutive AfroBasket title. And, of course, I've lost count of how many times they've won now. But ahead of that big tournament that starts tomorrow in Côte d'Ivoire, your thoughts? Still all those familiar stories about last-minute preparations and all that. But nonetheless, that's why the issue is, nonetheless, the expectations are always high.
It's because it's D-Tigers. You know, we have this. I tell people something that with all the kind of crazy preparations we have for events, imagine what will happen if we have proper preparations. We complained about the Falcons ahead of the WAFCON, 1 game in 6 months, no talks about prep, then boom, they're in the final. D-Tigers, I remember going ahead of the last event, there were complaints, no coach, we don't know if it was really a who. Then out of the blues, the president just announced the coach, the board member said we didn't even know about it. It became a chaos, it became controversy, that oh, these girls are not winning. Remember after the old debacle with the sport minister, some of them said they are not playing for the national team, the then sport minister. So it felt like, well, just go. 3 back-to-back is enough. Then they went ahead to win, make it 4. Now preparation, we wanted to camp in US, Sport Commission said no, they couldn't camp in Nigeria, blah, blah, blah. Now the girls are talking tough. I listened to Amy Okorunka, she was saying, no, they are going for the title, they want to win. That's the spirit that goes on with the national team. When problems, situations, everything surrounding, when it's time to do the job, our teams, especially the female teams of any sport, they put their heads together and say, we want to go for the title. If they don't win this one, I won't be surprised. But believe me, the girls will be hard done if they end up not doing so well. They know what they need to do. All eyes are on them now. They've won 6. The first time was back-to-back. This time around, back to back to back. So they know what to do. Hopefully all these things work out, because everyone wants to beat the Tigers. Oh, you guys, are you the only ones? They've not lost in forever. So everyone wants to be. I remember what they say. It is easier to get to the top than to stay at the top. But these girls, they've stayed and remained at the top.
All right, a lot of people have been talking about the roster. A friend of mine said we can't get any better roster than what we have out there. And Bolu has already mentioned a few names from that, should I say 12-woman roster now? So let's just go across and reel out the names of the players on that list, and we'll come back to talk about it, and hopefully we'll also get in a few of our guests to join us as we talk about it. All right, final roster, as you have it on your screen, 12 ladies, remarkable ladies on this roster. Promise Amukamara, Ezine Kalu, Elizabeth Balogun, Amy Okoronkwo, Nicole Enabosi, Palace Kunai, the names in this squad: Victoria Macaulay, Vera Ojeva, Blessing Ejiofor, Ifunaya Okoro, Sarah Ogoke, and Mujanotu Musa. This is the roster going into the 2025 FIBA Women's AfroBasket to be held in Cote d'Ivoire. It actually starts tomorrow. The D Tigers will be playing on Saturday. And Bolu, let me take you to what that friend of mine said. Can we get a stronger squad than this?
Well, first off, anytime I say D Tigers squad, if I see more Janos, I'm fine. Then Nemi Okoronkwo showed us signs that she can be the best we have last time. I'm happy for Izini Kalugo, the call-up as well. And of course, Sarah Ogoke. The truth is, any squad, especially in Nigeria, I tell people the hardest job to take is any coaching job in Nigeria, because no matter what you do, no matter what you call up, there'll be complaints and all. And we saw the Tigers. I always go back to Falcons. All these debutants, hope there won't be a problem, but we'll see how far they've gone. So for here, I'm happy a few experiences are there, which is the major important thing. Any squad without experience may be going down the failure lane, but this is what we have. We have to support the coach, Arena Wakama. She did well at the last event. She wants to better what she did the last time out. This is what we have. The preparation is short, which is sad, but I still believe the girls can go all the way. They have what it takes. They have a coach who's experienced both locally and international. And they have some players who have done it abroad. They've done it in Nigeria. So all I can say to them is go D Tigers. Let's go for the fifth one.
All right, let's go for the fifth one. All right, my colleague, Arsenal Koda Akpan, is in now, suited and ready as always, as we go along on this ride.
What a great things to hear me, and of course, everyone joining us on the show tonight. It's always an action-packed sort of sports, and I'm glad we're talking about basketball tonight. But then again, still the women, you hear me? And Bolu, I have concluded that Nigerian women are magicians. Yeah, just give them something small. It's like this, the parable of that mustard seed. They know how to transform things, you know. If you sit down and listen to these ladies and how they are giving so little and then they make so much out of it, you know. I just like sometimes when I hear them, I say, thank goodness at least we used to support them with the little that we do with our media work, because it looks like they have little or no support. The Tigress. 4 titles in a row. How can you explain what Senegal, Rwanda, Mali seem to be doing for their basketball? And when Nigeria meets them, they just make them look stupid with their development, you know? And we know back home that our leaders, our basketball officials are doing nothing, you know? So that's what I've concluded. I don't want to go into the D Tigress. Everyone knows about the issues we have. The Super Falcons, everyone knows the issues we have with football. Rashida comes to interviews and speaking parables. There's so much is happening behind the scene and all of that. But they just know how to turn up. And that's why I want to use tonight to appreciate the D Tigress for everything that they have done, you know, particularly how they've stayed focused, showed determination, resilience. And by the time we get into the conversation proper, you will understand what I'm talking about. So let's just go bring Kenny Bamidele into the conversation, because you've shown our viewers the roster. So Kenny, if you're ready, good evening. Welcome to Sports Tonight.
Yeah, good evening, Austin. Thank you very much for having me today.
Awesome. Kenny, I must say thank you too for everything. I see your good works of women's basketball in Nigeria. Well done. You saw the roster. Any surprises in there? I see you've been trying to do some explanations about the inclusion of Sarah Ogoke. But any other surprises in there for you?
Except Sarah Ogoke's inclusion, I don't think I'm surprised as regards other players that has been invited by the coach and of course the federation right there. But for Sarah's inclusion, of course, we know that most Nigerians were surprised that how on earth did Sarah make that team when she was not in the provisional roster right there. But of course, if we look at it from the other side, Sarah, since 2011, you know, when she was part of the All-African Games, I stand corrected, and of course, 2015, you know, she's won 4 AfroBasket championship. You know, each time she's called upon, she's always ready to play. I remember when some players declined to play for Nigeria, Sarah Ogoke stood up and said, yes, I want to play for Nigeria. So I feel like if this is the way to pay her back, if this is the way to show her that thanks for the support, this might just be a last AfroBasket championship, fair enough. But on the other side, the players that missed out, players like Adenike Olawiyi, To be honest, I think Adenike has been a loyal servant to the national team since she was called upon for the 2023 AfroBasket Championship. Being in Nigeria for weeks, waiting for the camp, and still did not make it to the final roster is quite painful. But it's just what comes. That's part of what comes with selection process when it comes to a basketball event. So you don't get it all smooth all the time. So I'm not surprised that you got other players on the list, but Sarah Oguki, I'm a little bit surprised about that one.
I am not, because as you said, if it's just their own way, they missed that the last time because of some personal issues. But let's be sincere. When Sarah Oguki wears that green color of ours, she turns up, she gives her best, So I'm hoping she does the same thing. And you need a little bit of experience in the mix. So with Sarah there, Ezinne Kanu, and of course, Promise Amukamara, you expect the Tigers to do something. Are they going to win the title, Kenny, for a record 5th time?
So I try as much as possible to avoid giving a direct answer to these questions, because the last 2 days, people have been asking, will Nigeria win the title? Of course, we have what it takes to win the title, but it is not definite because other teams have not been sleeping. If you look at preparations before the AfroBasket Championship right now, preparation has not been too smooth. Last week, the players touched at Abuja. They had 1 or 2 day training session. They were meant to play 2 friendly games against Kenya and against Togo. They didn't play any of these friendly games. Meanwhile, other countries like Mali, South Sudan, Senegal played friendly games. And alongside Rwanda, they played very good friendly games to prepare for this one. So in terms of the readiness, I'm not so confident. But of course, in terms of the talent level, look at the 2023 AfroBasket. We were able to win it despite the fact that we didn't prepare well before that one. So the talent level is just one thing that comes to the rescue most of the time. So I think for Nigeria, we have what it takes to win. But of course, it's not going to be easy this time.
I agree. We're the team to beat. But Yemi, time and time again, the women, they've shown to us, particularly with our male administrators, that we destroy and they build.
I mean, that's the case. It's sad, shouldn't be, but that's the case. And I'm tempted to, maybe I should go with Bolu first. The reason for the enthusiasm is what I don't understand. Austin started out by saying he doesn't want to say all the things he should say. And both of us, before coming to the studio, there were many things, you just don't want to come here and start saying it. But in spite of all that, journalists, fans, lovers of basketball would still expect the girls to go all out and win. So my question now is, where does the enthusiasm come from? Is it misplaced confidence? Is it just like they say, maybe the Nigerian spirit? I mean, there has to be something that makes you not do the right thing. He talked about administrators, they are part of us too. That makes you not do the right thing and still sit down confidently and expect that you're going to win.
Well, for the Nigerians, it's a norm when a team do so well at any event. Let me use Real Madrid in the Champions League, for example. Any team will be excited to get to the semi-final. But Real Madrid getting to the semi-final and not qualify for final feels like a loss. Why? Because we are used to them winning it. So it's the same thing with Falcons at any WAFCON tournament. The last event, they got to semi-final, got to third place and finished 4th. Some nations will do everything in their part to make sure they get to that level. But to the Falcons, it's a failure. So a similar thing to what we are saying in Data. If you've won the last 4 events, everyone is expecting that, oh, you have to do well, irrespective of what the surrounding, what the solutions are. This is talking about Nigerians as supporters. If I see any administrator come out to say this, I will say to them, you are shameless. Because you should have done much more for these girls. You should have done more in terms of preparing them. Because everyone knows what they can do. It means you should set them in better atmosphere, better camping, better everything. But all that aside, we are just doing it for Nigerians' sake. We fans, we journalists, everyone is talking based on the love we have and the quality we know we have. Not that we don't know what happened. Not that we don't know everything surrounding this, but we are putting all those aside and focusing on the players. Like Austin also rightly mentioned, the likes of Sarah Oguki, the experience, Ezinne Kanu is there. Blinks the blend with the younger girls in the squad. All this community, in terms of talent, I say it every time, almost every sport, we have the best. But we don't do the right things. Always, when it's now time for the event, we put aside every conversation, we put aside all arguments. It's always the Niger spirit. Hopefully they get there and they do well and bring home the title.
All right, let me throw this one at Kenny, probably his parting shot before we let him go. Same question I asked Bolu. I'm going to ask you. You talked about other teams, other countries doing what they should be doing, which is why you can't outrightly say Nigeria will win, even though that's what you want. That's what most people want. But my question will be still the same. What is the reason for that enthusiasm, knowing fully well that other teams are preparing, knowing fully well that they're doing the right thing? Why are we always still that enthusiastic? Why are we always finding it hard to believe that we may not win?
All right, so this is it. It's all about the spirit and the power of Niger. I remember the 23 AfroBasket. I'm always going to talk about it because I was part of those who never thought that the team would win it because of the lead up to the event. Right? I remember the coach, as at that time, was appointed 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks to start. And even the players, they had a tryout where they brought different players to come play, and the coach had to choose from the players that came to camp that time. And we went on to win it. So it's all about the talent. You know, when it comes to sport, when it comes to education, when it comes to almost all sectors, Nigerians, we've got talent all over. So I think it's more of the talent. But if we continue like this, you cannot keep going like this, because we are definitely going to meet our Waterloo at some point. So it's important for us to do the right things right now and not just rely on the individual talent that these players bring to the game every single time.
All right, Kenny Bamhele, I want to thank you for your time on the show. Hopefully we don't meet our Waterloo. Hopefully we don't. And maybe next time we'll be having this conversation, it'll be all smiles.
Amen.
All right, that's our friend Kenny Bamidele talking about, of course, the Tigress. And Austin, quick one on this. Anytime we have this kind of conversation, my mind goes back to 1998, Super Eagles of Nigeria. We're thinking of Brazil instead of focusing on Denmark, and we forgot that we were playing in Toulouse, and we lost.
You know, I mean, that's why it's very good to, document important lessons. But our problem is we do not learn. I think that 98 squad, it was a rush of blood to the brain, particularly with what they did to Spain. They didn't see it coming, and we underrated Denmark. But hey, we're not talking about it, man. Yeah, these women, they're not smiling. For instance, if you use Super Falcons as a case study, before this competition started, leave this Mission X we've been shouting. The few of the players that are my friends, they were going for a revenge mission. They met Zambia. They've given Zambia 5. They've avenged that defeat of 2022. They are meeting Morocco. Morocco defeated them in the semis. And that game, the Super Falcons, each time I talk to players that were part of that team, there is this vex, this anger. They want to just avenge that defeat. So with our women, they don't go into that place today. They just go in there and do business. So that's why I'm looking forward to that final game against Morocco to see what they can do, because that game, remember, Alimatu Ayinde got a red card, Rashida Ajibade got a red card. The Moroccans, they filled up that stadium, and they were even using lasers. We can remember Chiamaka Nadozie. So we have a final on our hands on Saturday. I mean, no complacency here with these women. For basketball and the Tigress, Sarah Ogoke is a very good friend of mine. We talk a lot. You see, when they see what Senegal seem to be doing, they always tell me one thing, that no matter what we do with African basketball, we lack systems and structure. They're coming from a country where they have system and structures, you hear me? So they will always come out better. Unfortunately for these other African, teams that are investing and then they are not, building properly. We are not building, but we are just blessed as Nigerians that we have talent all over the world, that can just jump up and represent the motherland. So, if we put it side by side, the three Tigress, they are going for a record 5th title in a row. The Super Falcons, they are going for a record 10th title. So, I'm trying so hard to tell that we cannot put our men and our women side by side. With the Super Falcons, with the Super Eagles, if we were doing the analysis, Bolu and you will be giving me a lot of what happened? Now, how did we miss that? But you see, with these women, unless it's just something that will really go bad, that's when it goes bad for our senior women's team, particularly with football and basketball. Just goes to tell you that they're absolute champions, Absolutely.
All right, they are. And maybe we should start thinking about focusing more on the ladies. Who knows?
We should.
They tend to give us the best. All right, we'll be going on a break in a bit, but let's quickly talk about the African Nations Championship. 23-man squad already announced for that competition. The competition for players playing in the indigenous players playing in their domestic leagues. All right, so let me go across if we can. Okay, we'll go on a break right about now. When we return from that break, we'll be talking about the African Nations Championship, popularly known as the CHAN. We will also talk about the Women's African Cup of Nations. Then, of course, we'll leave you with a slice of boxing. We'll do all of that when we return from this break. All right, welcome back. Let's go on and talk about the African Nations Championship. And, of course, the squad list is out. Let me just quickly reel out the names of the players chosen to represent Nigeria in the African Nations Championship. Some call them the Super Eagles, Team B. Some call them the CHAN Eagles. Some just call them Super Eagles of Nigeria. Whichever one you choose, it's okay. Henry Zomena, Annie from Ayimba. You have Nuruddin Badmus, Kwara United. Lawal Mustafa from Shooting Stars, the three goalkeepers in this 23-man squad. Let's talk about the midfielders quickly. Sadiq Ismaila from Remo Stars, Bankole Afiz from Kwara United, Taiwo Abdul Rafiu from Rivers United, Uzondo Harrison from Ikorodu City, Junior Harrison Nduka from Remo Stars, Gegen Leonard from Ikorodu City, Stephen Mayo Egbe from Rivers United. Defenders in the squad. Midfielders, you have Adedayo Olamilekon from Remo Stars, Hadi Haruna from Remo Stars, Otani Taufik from Rivers United, Akoni Kudus, Remo Stars, Michael Tochukwu from Remo Stars. You have Alex Oyowa from Remo Stars. You have a lot of players from Remo Stars in the squad. Anas Yusuf, Nasarawa United, Shola Adelani from Ikorodu City, Sikiru Alimi. I mean, he needs little or no introduction when it comes to the domestic league. He is the hot shot from Remo Stars. Timitokwe Vincent from Plateau United, Ijoma Anthony from Abia Warriors, Godwin Obaje, Rangers International, Jabbar Malik from Remo Stars. Let me go to Austin quickly. We're having a conversation with Bolu, and I said the positive thing in this squad for me is that you have a lot of players from Remo Stars in this squad, and just maybe, as it has worked for South Africa with Mamelodi Sundowns, just maybe the fact that some of these players have been together for a long time might work to Nigeria's advantage.
You know, I don't have any doubts with this team, and I say this because I followed the league religiously, you know, last season, and I can tell you for sure that these guys are good players, all of them. Maybe, but for, you know, looking for better football, I would have loved to see Xavier Isaac play in this team. But look, I have no doubt whatsoever with the list that I've seen as regards the players that have been called up for this CHAN. Some persons have reached out to me, Austin, why so much Remo Stars? But look, what are you saying? Follow the league, you understand why we have Remo Stars players in there. They are champions of the league. Adedayo Olamilekon is arguably the best defensive midfielder. In fact, can play both ways, midfield and offensive, that I've seen in the league. He was Remo Stars' best player of the season. Sadiq Ismail, fantastic player. So when people call me and they complain, I'm like, what are you talking about? You do not know the league. You don't follow the players. So am I supposed to start coming here to say, oh, this player should have made it and this one? Is it Anas Yusuf, highest goal scorer from the league, scored three hat-tricks all season? Fantastic players. Temitope Vincent for Plateau United. Big player all day, every day. Stephen Mayo. Where do you want to start coming from now to start telling me that these are not good players? Shola Adelani, I used to talk about him every week, you know. And yes, you said something good about the consistency that Suma Mamelodi Sundowns. When we start building our football around the league, which is a system, so imagine if out of the 20 MPFL clubs, let's just try and imagine that we have about 10 or 11 with the standards of Remo Stars. Will you and I ever be bothered about Chan. Let's say they play the center of football, they have the same management attention, infrastructure is good, players' welfare is top-notch. We will not complain. We will not have any problems. We'll go out there. That's what South Africa is doing with their sports. They are doing everything they can to take it out of the hands of government. And that's why we're seeing what they are doing. See Egypt, same thing. Look at Small Pyramid coming out now to win continental championship. When did they come out? But because off the field, they are already winning. So with calling of players, you know me all day, every day. I opened the list again before I came on the show. I'm like, top players everywhere, across the park. Any of those goalkeepers can start. Henry Ozomena has big experience in Africa and the Champions League with Emba. Nuruddin Badmus of Kwara United is a fantastic goalkeeper. Shooting stars Lawal Mustafa, I think Bolu, if I'm not mistaken, went one time about 11 or 12 games, clean sheets. Bolu, I do not have any worries about this team, but what I know is that they can go out there, play good football, and if they listen to what the technical crew will say to them, they have the quality to win the champ, don't they?
It's even worried to be worried. For anyone that's worried about it, like you rightly mentioned, some persons will still walk into this team, the likes of Papadada, Mustafa, Savior that you mentioned. Unfortunately, they've signed for teams abroad, so they could not complete. And for the first time in probably ever, most of the time we do, this quota system that we just pick players all around. 45% of the outfield players are from Remo Stars. If you saw how Remo Stars played last season in the MPFL, not that they just won by chance or by luck, or have they played in the last 3-4 years, you can say just tell Remo Stars to go and represent Nigeria on the continent, and you can be confident that they'll do what to. Like Austin mentioned, Shooting Stars, forget how they fell towards the end of the season. Shooting Stars towards the end of last season and 2 seasons ago, they became so unbeatable, going on straight clean sheet. So putting their goalkeeper is no mistake. I think this squad is compact enough. This squad is tight. Hopefully it ends up turning out to positive for the team as the chant goes. I love what I'm seeing, and the coach is talking tough about them. Incidentally, Chell is involved this time, unlike not the qualifiers, the others, but now he's involved. So hopefully all this turn out well, and we go to China and bring the title home.
All right, hopefully we go there, bring the title home. Hopefully we see some players join the main squad of the Super Eagles. Let's talk about plans to establish national sports academies across the board. The Speaker of the House of Representatives, Honorable Abbas Tajuddin, has announced plans to establish a national sports academy for sustainable sports development in the country. Honorable Abbas made this known in Abuja at the maiden distribution of sports equipment to members of the House Committee on Sports for their various constituents. So let's just take some remarks, some talking points from the event. We'll come back to talk some more on issues in the world of sports.
It is unacceptable for a country of 200 million people to be going for competitions and coming back without a medal. During the last Olympics, St. Lucia, with a population of less than 100,000 people, won gold medal. Nigeria with over 200 million, we came back with nothing. It is unacceptable. And I told him, one way for us to really regain our glory is not to continue with the present system of who knows who in identifying the people to represent Nigeria. Let's go back to the basics. Let's go back to the grassroots. Let's go back to competitions at the grassroots level. Let's go back to developmental sports. It's not good to be talking. Be seen to be acting it. And in 2025 budget, I made some commitments that I am going to do a number of things to push and show my other colleagues and Nigeria in general what every leader who has opportunity needs to start with. I have put in the budget provision to build a sports academy. The sports academy will have all kinds of games, not just football that we'll be concentrating on. All outdoor and indoor games, athletics, and what have you. And it will be a national academy where children of secondary school age who are identified through such kind of competitions will be encouraged to come and school and continue their sport development.
Investing in grassroots sport means investing in the dreams of our young people. It means creating pathways for the boy in Kaduna and Yobe who does football, the girls in Enugu who dreams of running for Nigeria, and the youth in Lagos who has skills to play basketball but lacks a platform. It is our vision to create a sustainable sport ecosystem that starts the grassroots level, provides opportunities for talent discovery, and ensures that every child, regardless of their background, has access to training, mentorship, and facilities. The distribution of sport equipment today is part of our committee's wider commitment to supporting sports development at the community level by empowering members of this committee with necessary resources. We are ensuring that training programs can be conducted in various constituencies, local competition and tournament can be better organized, youths in urban and rural areas have access to quality sporting tools, talent discovery is made easier and more inclusive.
All right, welcome back. Listening to the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Honorable Abbas Tajuddin. You're also listening to the Chairman, House Committee on Sports, Kabir Amadu. Talking about a whole lot of issues, thanking the President for increase, the President and the House for increase in the percentage increase in the sports sector, the money that goes to the sports sector. Hopefully all of those things will trickle down to the key actors. Of course, since it's in the budget, hopefully it will trickle down to the key actors. And also, I'm very sure you want to say a thing or two, and of course we'll want to spend the few minutes we have left to talk about the Super Falcons. My worry usually is, I don't have a problem. We always say the right things. Implementation is where the problem really is. And I just wish the leaders know what they're doing with the next generation, because sports is a way to turn things around, but we don't seem to get it. We don't seem to get the workings. That's my worry.
We like the conversations. As I said, the most abused word in Nigeria is grassroots. Oh, the grassroots. Oh, we go back to the basics. They love it. Like even politics, you hear them say you have the structure, the grassroots. Well, they forget that all the work starts and ends in the grassroots. That place, that is where you invest. That's the foundation. It's straightforward. Even scriptures. I said that if the foundation be destroyed, what can the righteous do? So they said they have plans to establish. When I saw the story, plans to establish, okay, it's talk now, you've called the media, you've talked about it on TV, on radio, but what's the next step? Can we say long-term plan? Because when you're dealing with the grassroots, it's a very delicate, sector, and it should be long-term, Don't treat it as an immediate product. Don't identify talents, and the first you want to do is have to ship them abroad. You're still going to, hurt that ecosystem you're trying to build. So I just hope that one day we'll sit down, and the first way to start is to put the right people in the right places, people with vision, commitment, passion, reformers, people with good knowledge of sports and technicalities. I've been attending a lot of sports workshops, and I've been, goodness, even as a sports journalist, I don't know 10% of what it takes to administer sports. So now I try to even imagine when we're now put in the hands of politicians. They would just treat football like Ludo. They would treat boxing like they're playing darts or what.
Okay,
So
Austin. Austin, let me just butt in, because we could go on, and I don't want to join you. We'll spend the whole time we have on this. Let's go to Ghana. We'll talk about the Super Falcons tomorrow, but let's go to Ghana and talk about the Salt Place tomorrow. I'll go across in a bit. in a bit to talk about it. But Bolu, I want to get your thoughts. Ghana, South Africa, they've met before in the group stage. Easy peasy for South Africa. Will it be the same situation?
This time around, they're fighting for more than they did in the group stage. It's going to be a different ball game entirely. South Africa lost in regular time. Ghana fought all the way. Unfortunately, they couldn't make it through. Ghana are one of the historical teams in terms of women's football in Africa. Unfortunately, when CAF changed the qualifying format, they found it important to qualify, thanks to nobody, than the Super Falcons. Now they are fighting hard. They have a statement to make. But don't forget, South Africa are the defending champions. I felt they were scared against Nigeria, especially after seeing Nigeria dismantle Zambia. Probably that played a huge impact in their performance. This time around, they want to leave with something. They want to win. At least we couldn't get the gold. Let's still pick the bronze and go. But it's not going to be an easy ride for them. The Black Queens, like you said, they won convincingly in the group phase, but this is a different ballgame. We've seen teams win in group stage and you lose. We saw under 19 girls beat China in the opening match, lost out in the classification. It's going to be tough. I still think South Africa are favorites, but it's not going to be a jolly ride for them.
Bolu says it's not going to be a jolly ride. Let me just quickly go across so that our viewers will know what we're talking about. Second time these two teams will be meeting in this tournament. Third place, Ghana and South Africa. Of course, the game is going to be tomorrow. You already know the final is going to be on Saturday. Let's quickly listen to the coach of Ghana speaking ahead of this game against South Africa.
We were prepared to play the final. That's our first goal was probably to make the playoff. And then our goal in the group have been to push and be a little bit of an underdog, a great surprise, and to play the final. We worked really hard the other day. We were so close. So of course, yesterday we had a group of coaches and staff members and players that were really disappointed. But today is back on track again and focus on the next game and to make sure to do the best we can to win it. What I've seen the whole time is goal, and now we can't get it. But in the other hand, it's if you're looking at the expectations from the most of the people, at least the people outside of Ghana, have been that no one have been talking about Ghana like a team that actually can play the final, like so. And we have only been in the playoff one time, I think, in 19 years or something like that. So that what we are doing right now in this tournament is actually really good. So we need to remember that as well. And now is one game left, and to make sure that we do everything to make a good performance and to win the game.
Yeah. All right. Of course, the coach of there. All right. Also, I know you want to react to this, but you'll probably just do that in a few seconds. I don't want us to leave without talking about Marcus Rashford, Hogan, and of course, Usyk and Parker. But a quick one on
I like it. I like what Ghana did against Morocco. You know, remember we're on the live show and I was saying that they were giving it a good go. But unfortunately, football chose Morocco, you know, to advance. In the group phase, South Africa defeated Ghana 2-0, but see, Ghana went all the way. So let's just hope that it will be a good game of football. I like this fact that we're getting good enough competition now. Ghana has joined the conversation. Senegal, to an extent, has joined the conversation. Even small Botswana, Algeria, Tunisia. So it's looking good for women's football in Africa. I listened to Coach we need for Gabi Salgado. So South Africa, they have motivation that they're using to get into that game. Ghana's coach has said that they also want to win it. But their last 5 matches, South Africa has won 3, Ghana 2. You know, so it's advantage South Africa. Let's see what will happen in third place.
All right, good one, Bolu. We have to run through this. Marcus Rashford. When the Barcelona news started gathering momentum, I thought it was a joke. But now he is with Barcelona. Do you think he can force his way into that team? Will he be a big part player?
Well, that's the headache and speaker to work out with because their front three is Lewandowski, Rafinha, and Yamal. So two things: either one of those front three sits down, or he reduces one of the midfield guys and play 4-2-3-1. That's Rashford, Rafinha, Yamal, and Lewandowski up front. It means one more person will be missing in the midfield. He has so many things to think about. We saw what Rashford did on loan at Aston Villa. If he just has a semblance of that, and maybe even more with Barcelona, will play better football. He could go on to even sign a permanent deal after the 1 year, but it has to be the 1 year first, and it has to be almost an instant impact because Barcelona fans and even as an institution, they don't have enough time to give you 6 months to adapt. You have to adapt immediately.
All right, so we'll leave it at that. I wish we had time. We'll talk about it. But Austin, quickly, your next bite of the apple, Joseph Parker, Alexander Usyk, WBO has ordered that fight. Is it going to happen, or you think Usyk will just say, you know what, just take your belt, I'll win it back later?
I don't want him to do that, but I think that's what he's likely to do because he knows Parker is dangerous. There's momentum on Parker's side, and I think it's unfair. It's unfair, and it was Daniel Dubois that started this thing. I didn't give Parker a chance to have that fight because they also knew that the way Parker was going, I think the guy, he has a winning streak of about 9 or 10 fights here, and he has really improved. The way he's taking out boogeymen that people were scared of, you can tell that this guy is angry, and he really, really deserves a shot at the world title. So shout out to WBO for putting out this one. That is a mandatory challenger for Usyk. But let's be sincere, this guy has also tried. He's tired. There's my boxing friends tell me that after a fight, it is not even what you did in the ring that wears you out. It is the conversations after. And they go through so much to prepare for this. So this guy, 3-time undisputed heavyweight champion. If the money isn't right, because at this stage, let's be sincere, it's just the money he wants.
It's all about the money,
right, yeah, he's not going to go for that fight.
All right.
It's as simple.
So we'll see what happens in that one, whether Usyk fights or lets the belt go. Bolu, our parting shot on the show. It's a sad one. The man most of us grew up watching. Most of us probably wanted to be like him. Tore our shirts anytime we wanted to have something that looks like a fight. Hulk Hogan has passed away, professional wrestling legend. He's passed away at the age of 71. World Wrestling Entertainment has confirmed the news. And he won 6 WWE championship across a glittering career. But what can we say? It feels like a part of us has left because we all grew up idolizing this guy.
Well, the song then was Okonga, Show Me Your Power Again. Literally everyone sang that song, and it's probably arguably the most popular wrestler of all time. It's definitely going to be missed in the sports, and like they say, life happens. Few weeks to his 72nd birthday, unfortunately, he couldn't hit that mark. Wrestling will definitely miss him. Wrestling fans will miss him, and the world of sports will definitely miss him.
All right. Also, a lot of people say wrestling was never the same since this guy left. I don't know how true that was. It was magical when we was growing up. Something looked like, but it will be sorely missed, though.
It will be missed, definitely. He was a great entertainer, fantastic wrestler, and at some point when Undertaker joined the mix, we were like, this is what it is. And to think about it, that they fooled us for a long time as kids because we thought, look at that was his trademark, when he tears that shirt, and he's angry and he wants to take on everyone. So we pray that his beautiful soul rest in peace. 71. Would have loved to have him around for some more time, but that's it. That's his story. That's it. That's the show in London. I'm Austin Okonakpan. In everything you do, remember to keep talking sports. Bye for now.
All right, this is a wrap here in Lagos. I want to thank Bolo Money for his time on the show today.
So it's a pleasure coming around.
All right, enjoy the rest of your day. One more edition still left for the week. I'm Imi Adebayo. Bye-bye now.